Hi, class. Hi, good afternoon. This is Mr. G, Mr. Garcia. We're going to go ahead and start 2.4. Before we do that, let's review 2.3 or 2-3. Okay, so this is what we did. We were solving multi step equations. Okay, that's what we were doing. We were basically working backwards. Okay, so we did all of these right here. Okay, we were working backwards by using TioSadMap. Okay, TioSadMap helped us. So you subtract or add first, then you divide or multiply. Okay, we're not really using parentheses yet or exponents, but that's basically how you do it. Okay, we did all of these. Hopefully, you turn these assignments in already. Okay, so that's what we did. We were using uh, uh, we're using TioSadMap to solve multi-step equations. Now we're right here. We're on uh, 2.4, okay, 2-4. So this is your study guide for it. All right. Let's go ahead and do this one. Okay. Make sure your name and date, period is on it. All right. Let's go ahead and what I want you to do first is I want you to go ahead and read this paragraph. Go ahead and read it to yourself, and then go ahead and come back. All right, guys. All right. So hopefully you read the paragraph. Okay. So remember what we're doing today. We are solving equations with variables on both sides. Okay, on each side. In this case, it says each side, but it's we're doing it on both sides. Okay, so let's go ahead and read the paragraph. Okay, the paragraph says variables on each side. To solve an equation with the same variable on each side, first you use the addition or the subtraction property of equality to write an equivalent equation that has the variable on just one side of the equation. Then solve the equation. So you're using addition or subtraction. So you're using SA from TioSadMap. So you're still using SA. Okay. So first use addition or subtraction property of equality to write an equivalent equation that has a variable on just one side of the equation. So it just has the variable on one side of the equation. Okay. And then after you do that, solve the equation. Okay. So you are still using TioSadMap. Okay, SA stands for subtraction or addition. D is division or multiplication, and then exponents, and then parentheses. Okay, so let's go ahead and show. I'm going to show you how we solved example number 1. All right. All right. So here's the equation: 5y minus 8 equals 3y plus 12. So we're going to use TioSadMap, right? SADMEP. So we're going to subtract or add first. This is the original equation. This is the original. Okay, and then right here, it looks like they subtracted. Okay, they're going to go ahead and subtract it looks like they subtracted 3y from both sides. So they subtracted 3y from this side. They subtracted 3y from this side. Now, I don't like to do them like this. I like to usually put them below it. That's why you see my problems put it below it, because this can get a little confusing. But I'm circling it so you guys can see what happened. So they subtracted this guy, this 3y, they subtracted it. And so when you subtract the 3y, see how it's right here? So this becomes 0. So subtract 3y. Okay, that's what they did here. Then after that, now they went ahead and you have the 12 down here. Okay, and now what they also did here is they did two things at the same time. You see there's a 3y here. They also subtracted it from here as well. They subtracted it from here, and they subtracted it from here. So 5 minus 3y is 2y. Okay, so subtract 3y from 2y. That's what they did there. You see that right here? So 5 minus 3y is 2y. So then they brought it down. Okay, now it looks like it's a two-step equation. Okay. Excuse me. So a two-step equation. So to have y be by itself, you're going to go ahead and add 8. So you add 8. So here it is. And here it is. What you do to one side, you do to the other to keep it balanced. All right, so now this becomes 0. So now you're left with 2y equals 20. And then this is 12 plus 8, which equals 20. Now you're going to go ahead. You can't multiply because it's already being multiplied. You got to divide. So divide by 2. Divide both sides by 2. Cross this out. That becomes 1. So y equals 10. Now let's check our answer. Checala, checala. Okay, let's see if this is right. So wherever we see y, let's put in a 10. So 5, 10 minus 8 equals 3, 10 plus 12. And let's see if this is correct. Okay, so 5 times 10 is 50 minus 8, 30 plus 12. So 50 minus 8 is 42. 40 plus 12 is 42. So yes, the solution is 10. We are done with number 1. Okay? All right, let's keep going. So on example number 2, okay, example number 2, it's right here. So it's showing you the steps right here. You can go ahead and go over these. All right, let's go over them now. So in this one, they went ahead and added 3y to both sides. Okay, when they added 3y to both sides, it's because they want to make this 0. You see how this is going to be 0? Okay, this is going to be 0. Negative 3y plus 3y, this is going to be 0. This is going to be gone. Okay, so now when you add 3y here, you're going to get 11y plus 1, and you leave this negative 11 here. So now you have a two-step equation here. Okay, right here. And then after that, you got to have y by itself, so you got to get rid of this guy. So to get rid of this guy, you got to subtract it. So subtract 1 from both sides. Here's the 1, here's the 1. And now this becomes negative 11 minus 1 is negative 12 here. Okay, and this becomes 0. This is gone. So now we have a one-step equation. So this is multiplication, so you got to divide. So divide by 11, divide by 11. Okay, and you're going to get y equals negative 12 over 11. You could have just left it like that. Negative 12 over 11. That's fine. They decided to change it to a mixed number. Both of these are right. That's fine. Okay. If we substitute this back in here, you're going to get the same answer. Now, let's do this slightly a different way. I like to show you guys 2 different ways to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and show it to you here. Okay, so what they did here is they added 3y, right, to get rid of this guy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and subtract 8y. I'm going to go ahead and subtract the 8y. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 8y. Subtract 8y. Put my line here. Okay, so when you subtract 8y from both sides, you get 0 here. And this becomes negative 11. And then negative 3y minus 8y is negative 11y. And then just bring this 1 here. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and add 11 to both sides because this is a negative. So we're going to add 11, add 11. All right, and then this becomes 0. So negative 11y equal, and then what's 1 plus 11? 12. So divide by negative 11, divide by negative 11, cross this off, y equals negative 12 over 11, which is the same answer. Okay, slightly different way to do it, but you get the same answer. All right. Okay, let's go on to this example. We'll call this one example number 3. So this is example number 3. Okay, so we have 4, and then multiply 2a minus 1 equals negative 10a minus 5. So anytime you see a parentheses like this, then you should know that this is going to be, you're going to use the distributive property. Okay, good old distributive property. Okay, now, anytime you see a parentheses like that, you go ahead and distribute first, always. Okay, I don't know if Esqueda told you that, but I'm sure she did. So remember, anytime you have a parentheses like this, use the distributive property. It makes life a lot easier. So in this case, you're going to go ahead and send this here, send this here. You're going to send this negative 10a to here, this negative 10a to here. It's like sending a group text, okay? I think I went over this before. It's like sending a group text. So you're sending this guy to this. So 4 times 2a is 8a. And then 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. It's minus 4, but it's a negative. Okay, and then negative 10 times a is negative 10a. And then negative times a negative is a positive right here. Okay, and we use the distributive property. Okay, this is your rationale on why you are doing what you are doing. I might ask you to do this, so make sure you're doing this, okay? All right, so on this one, so now we have them, and now they have the variables on both sides. It looks like the problems that we just did on top, 1 and 2. So now we go ahead and start. And in this case, they went ahead and added 10a to both sides. So they added 10a, they added 10a. And they're doing that to get rid of this guy. So see how 10a plus negative 10a, it's going to get rid of them. And over here, 10a plus 8a is 18a. Okay, that's how you get 10 plus 8, 18a, and then bring down the minus 4. So now you have a two-step equation right here. Okay, and then after that, we're going to add 4 to both sides. This becomes 0. Add 4 to both sides. This becomes 54. So now you bring this down. 18a equals 54. You go ahead and divide by 18, and then you're going to get your answer. Your answer is 3. You want to check your answer? Okay, let's check your answer. Let's put in 3 in here. So what's 2 times 3? 6. Minus 1, 5. What's 5 times 4? 20. Now let's put it in here. So 3 minus 5. What's 3 minus 5? Negative 2. And then negative 2 times negative 10? 20. So A is equal to 3. Okay, that's example number 3. Make sure you're marking these on your paper, guys, okay? You should be marking them so you could kind of get an idea of how to do these. All right, let's go on to example number 4. So this is not on your paper, but I went ahead and wrote it in. We have space here, so we're going to do it. So make sure you don't write too big, okay, guys? So here we go. So here's our equation, our original equation, okay? Remember what I said. Anytime you see parentheses, you go ahead and distribute, okay? When you see parentheses like this and you see these numbers out here, distribute, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. Let's distribute. So distribute this here, and then distribute this here, and distribute this here. Go ahead. All right, so our first step was to distribute. So we went ahead and distributed just like this one. Okay, so we distributed. So now we have 18a plus 6 minus 30 equals 6a minus 12. Okay? All right. So now we got to keep going. So let's go ahead and see if we can simplify anything. It looks like we can simplify this guy. So let's go ahead and combine these like terms. This is combining like terms. All right. So we combine these two like terms. So 6 minus 30 is negative 24. So 18a minus 24 equals 6a minus 12. Okay. So now this is where you take your critical step. Do I want to move stuff this way or do I want to move stuff this way? In this case, I'm going to move this a over here because if I move it over here and I subtract it, this is going to be a positive. Okay? So let's do that. Okay, so now we subtracted 6a from here. You get 0, so just move the negative 12. This one, 12 minus 6. 12a minus 6a is 12a. So we have 12a minus 24 equals negative 12. So it's a two-step equation now. So let's keep going. All right. So now add 24 to both sides. You get 0. So you're stuck with 12a. And then here, negative 12 plus 24, your answer is 12. So let's keep going. Divide by 12. Divide by 12. A equals 1. We did all that work to get 1. All right, so let's revise our steps because I'm probably going to ask you a question on this at the end of this video, okay? So you first see if you have to distribute. Okay, if you have to distribute, that's step one. See if you have to distribute. Okay, once you distribute, you can combine like terms. Okay, that's step two. If you don't have to combine like terms, then you can go ahead and start using Diel-Sadmip, subtract or add, just like right here. Okay, after you subtract or add, then you either multiply or divide. In this case, we had to divide. Okay, so that's your steps. Okay, and then your final one is to actually check your answer. Checala, right? So you literally have 4 steps. Distribute, simplify, subtract or add, and then divide or multiply. Okay? And then, well, actually, you have 5 steps, sorry. Then you check your answer. You might not have to do this a lot where you're simplifying or you're combining like terms. Okay? So you might have 4 or 5 steps. Okay? So if you check your answer here, I'll let you check it. So you check your answer here on your work. Okay, you should get the same thing. This side should equal that side. Okay? All right, so here we are on the back. Now we're on the 24. Okay, so these are the problems you're going to go ahead and do. Okay, so you're still solving equations with variables on each side. Okay, you're going to still using Diel-Sadmip, but now remember you have 4 or 5 steps. Okay, you're going to have to distribute first, simplify your expression or combine like terms. After that, you're going to use subtraction or addition, SA from Diel-Sadmip. And after that, you're going to either divide or multiply. And then finally, at the end, check your answer. Okay, if you don't have enough room on here, guys, you can do this on a separate sheet of paper. Okay, that's okay, that's fine. All right, so these are the problems you're going to do. So you're going to go ahead and do number 1 and number 2. What you're going to do here is you're going to justify what is happening here. Okay, so for example, on number 1, this is the original equation, so you don't have to do anything. So right here, you have to tell me, right, on A, why they did that, or what is it that they did. And then for B, what is it that they did, and then for C, it goes directly across. So it's like this. Okay, and this one too. It goes directly across like that. So justify each step. Tell me what is it that they did. Okay, just like we did before. All right, so you're going to do number 1, number 2, and then let's go down here. You're going to do number 3, number 4, number 7, number 9, and number, let me see, 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 9, and 12. Those are the ones you're going to do. Okay, the others we'll leave them for another time. All right, guys, let me know if you have questions, okay? All right. And like I told you at the end, if you don't have room for these on this paper, especially 3, 4, 7, 9, and 12, you can do them on a separate paper, okay? All right, guys.